unfortunately, guys, he has lost ESPN and he has lost his $100 million podcast deal. All over some Badussy.
Say what now? Not Katt Williams exposing Kevin Hart's 4-foot self for selling Shanon out to get canceled. It turns out this current mess with Shanon is really a shakedown. Like he said, because Katt Williams just stepped into the chat once again and he accused Kevin Hart of being behind the whole thing. And baby, Katt came through with all the receipts. It's not a secret that Katt Williams absolutely despises Kevin Hart, but these new allegations he's making against him are a bit insane to say the least. In fact, Kevin was one of the people Katt talked down on during his explosive 2024 interview with Shannon Sharpe. And according to Katt, Kevin is still pressed about it and he has been working with some industry executives to destroy Shanon. It turns out that Gabriela Zuniga, the girl who is currently suing Shanon, actually has ties in the industry because of her family. And she was sent to trick Shannon's freaky self into this mess so they can ruin him. Shanon pretty much made the industry aware that his weak spot was younger women when he was talking crazy in them interviews, and now they have him exactly where they've always wanted him. Now, as I said, Katt calling Kevin out for selling out Shanon actually isn't the first time he has dragged Kevin for being a sellout. He first got on Kevin's tail when he went off on him for showing up on SNL in a lace front and a dress, even after saying just a few days before that he was never going to wear a dress just to get ahead in the industry. He was asked about this around the same time almost every black male celebrity was showing up on TV in a dress just to get to the next step in their career. So this was a very big deal for a lot of folks. However, when Kevin went back on his own words, people felt like he had sold out his soul, and Katt was one of them. The reason why Kevin was even asked about this in the first place is because Dave Chappelle had just had a very explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, where he had said he got into trouble with the producers of a movie he was just making with Martin Lawrence because they wanted him to put on a dress and he refused. And what's even more crazy is that when he made it clear he wasn't going to wear that dress, they all of a sudden had another script ready to go.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a... and he put this dress on. And, huh? What? No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. Huh. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. And it was clear, I was adamant. I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later. The whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
This interview really shook people at the time, and other celebrities were asked what their thoughts were on Dave's comments. One of the celebrities who was asked about it was Kevin Hart, and that is when he said he would never wear a dress.
Dave Chappelle, another great comedian, said that, you know, in the industry, they tried to make him wear a dress. Have you ever ran into that with scripts, and is there something that, you know, you wouldn't do, you know, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you know, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. You know, for me, I know what they are. They've yet to been challenged, so you know, I don't have to speak on them. I was asked to dribble a basketball on a talk show this morning.
You look
said
good
no to
doing
that. Not that that was a dress, but I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. You know, at the end of the day, you got to know that you're a brand. I'm a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
But not too long after this interview, Kevin shamelessly popped out in an SNL skit wearing a dress and a wig.
Looks of it, the new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Kevin Wallace.
Wow.
At the time, Kevin wasn't a struggling actor or anything like that, but he was definitely not where he wanted to be. So he took full advantage of the chance he got and put on that dress because he knew it was going to be that breakthrough he desperately needed in his career. Now, of course, when people called him out, he got all defensive and put out this tweet that said, "I wore a dress on SNL because I thought it was funny. I made that decision. Nobody made it for me. I am my own boss." And now, as I said earlier, Katt was later asked about this and he didn't hesitate calling Kevin a sellout. He said he didn't blame Kevin for selling his soul because he was just part of a long lineage of black men being made to wear a dress in order to transition to that next level of fame, and Kevin was just doing what he was told he needed to do to make it in Hollywood.
Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Okay.
But see, Katt wasn't just saying this because of Kevin obviously going back on his words. He also said this because at the time, the industry was actively trying to get rid of him and find a replacement, and the person they were trying to replace him with was Kevin. Unlike Katt, Kevin was willing to do everything they told him to do, even if it went against his morals. And that's the exact kind of person that Katt wasn't. So when Kevin started to rise, they sabotaged Katt and started pushing out false rumors about him being a raging crackhead.
You're a sucker. The reason I don't do Big Tigger is because I had a tumor in my upper jaw and they had to take it out, and they had to block the whole right of my sinus with a piece of metal. So ever since I got out the Marine Corps, I can only breathe out of one nostril, boy. I get my blood tested every 3 months for the last 15 years. All narcotic tests have come up 0.00%. I'm 44 years old, little Tigger. You look up my rap sheet. I have never had a DUI or a possession of anything, not even the marijuana I do every day. See, when you real, you can tell the truth about anything.
They blackballed Katt so hard that he stopped getting any roles and had to pull back from the spotlight altogether. That was until 2018 when he made his comeback and got on Kevin's tail to expose him for the fraud he is.
46 female black comedians that I know personally that I put on tour who have a hard time getting a chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A after they headline 7 shows at a club for $2,500 a week.
But people like real, and that's why they
is that
like
what
her.
they like?
They love real.
Because everybody's real then. So don't trip.
No.
Is they so ghetto? When did that become marketable? Knock it off. They like her because she want to sleep with a white man. That's why the only thing she said was, I want to give it to Brad Pitt.
Now, even though Katt didn't mention Kevin in the interview, Kevin definitely felt some type of way about it. You know how the saying goes, a hit dog is gonna holler, and baby, Kevin did a whole lot of hollering. During a heated interview on The Breakfast Club, he called Katt a failure and said the reason Katt wasn't as big as him was because he chose substances over his career.
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Katt was in that position at one point.
You were the guy.
Yeah.
You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You off promo shoots. You off your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I got to fix me and I'm going to come back and I'm going to stand up for comedy. So when you say Tiffany Haddish doesn't deserve or isn't really a comedian and these other women have worked hard, which they have. Shouts out to Melanie Camacho. Shouts out to Lunel. Shouts out to Leslie Jones, who are all underneath the umbrella of Katt Williams. Katt Williams, have you ever used your platform to bring the people that were under you up? You haven't. So because you haven't, don't on those that now are. I've used my platform and I've brought my guys and girls up. The brand of Kevin Hart is a brand that's expanded so far, whether you like me or not. My presence in comedy will forever be felt because I'm a boss. I sit on the top of it, and the opportunities that I'm giving are the ones that I'm creating. So take responsibility for what you did. You. Nobody else did. You don't hear Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, the Kings of Comedy, Seinfeld. You don't hear George Lopez, Eddie Griffin. You don't hear fucking who else can I go down the road of other comedians? Steve Martin, Martin Short. You don't hear the guys that got on top and that made it by doing what they love complain about the people that are coming under them. The reason why is because they're happy with themselves. Don't blame everybody else for your shit. Don't on my sister Light because you're not happy with your shit. This shit's earned, it's not given.
Child, as y'all can see, Katt wasn't having it at all because the allegations Kevin made against him were pretty wild, and Katt didn't hold back from dragging him for filth when he appeared on Shannon's Club Shay Shay last year.
Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies.
So Katt was basically putting it out there that he believes there is no way Kevin could have been able to climb up in Hollywood so fast without the help of the white elites fueling his career.
These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years?
He also made it clear that unlike Kevin, he has not accepted checks from the higher ups in the industry to stay quiet about certain issues.
And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves.
Katt then recalled the time where he was blackballed because he refused to do a scene of him getting SA'd in the movie Friday After Next. Apparently, the producers thought the scene would be funny, but Katt didn't see how someone getting SA'd could possibly be funny, so he refused to do it. After they wrapped filming, Katt was blacklisted and every movie he was supposed to be starring in was given to Kevin because Kevin was willing to do them without asking for anything to be changed.
The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got raped in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Katt Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, humbly, guys, if we're talking about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy, right, where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy. And this comedy involves And never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting So considering that's the real story, why would you bring up that story?
And now Kevin didn't directly respond to the allegations Katt made against him, but he made Katt aware. He wanted all the smoke by seemingly sending him a strong warning. He trolled Katt's interview during his commentary on the New York Knicks versus Philadelphia game, when he made a few sarcastic and corny jokes about Katt buying the Knicks and dropping them off at the game.
Another fun fact about the New York Knicks, I don't know if you guys know this, but Katt Williams bought the Knicks.
He definitely bought it.
He bought the Knicks, and it's rumored that he took the Knicks back, returned them with a receipt.
You could do that. You didn't know you could do
the
that.
The first person to ever do it. Another known fact, Katt dropped him off.
Oh, wow.
Katt
in
just
a spaceship.
He gave him a ride.
Oh. In a spaceship. Okay. In a spaceship. Copy that. Spaceship that he parallel parked.
Known fact, Katt Williams has a NBA basketball court in his living room. He's the first to ever really, he's the first to embrace a true hardwood floor.
Yeah.
He bought it in his home.
But according to Katt, even though Kevin was out there making it look like he was unbothered, he was very much bothered, and he has been working overtime to destroy Shannon. And this actually makes sense because if y'all remember, Shannon revealed a while ago that someone was trying to get them to cancel his show after Katt spoke about them on his show. Well, people are now revisiting that, and they believe that Kevin was behind that the entire time.
He said, but my mama said, boy, there's power in the tongue.
Yes. He says he told me, and my guy Jordan is over there. He said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said they're gonna come, and they're gonna say a lot of different things, and they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get that they're not gonna come now.
Right.
And that's absolutely has happened. That's absolutely has happened. They were so excited. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. And a day later, they can't do it, and then no call, they won't follow, so forth and so on. So I understand.
But it doesn't stop there, because word on the street is Kevin is also behind this new Shannon S.A. lawsuit, and the girl who is suing him, Gabriela Zuniga, is actually related to a popular Hollywood family. Jaguar Wright was actually the one who brought up this when she spilled the tea about Gabriela's connection to the old popular Hollywood actress Daphne Zuniga.
He also skipped over the name that he dropped. She's a very unique name. Now, I'm not going to say her first name, but the family name that she holds is Zuniga. I've been researching, trying to figure out if she's related to the Hollywood Zunigas, because Daphne Zuniga has ties in some interesting areas behind the scenes. Melrose Place actress. Does anybody remember?
Oh, not Melrose Place. Yeah, 1990s.
Yeah, Daphne Zuniga. She has ties, like I said, some very interesting Hollywood ties. So you messing with this girl who's a child. This man has children older than this girl. Am I lying?
It turns out that Kevin, along with some Hollywood executives, have been plotting on Shannon for years. And it was easy for them to figure out that using a young girl like Gabriela was gonna help them destroy Shannon very easily. Shannon has had a lot of interviews in which he made his love for young girls very clear, and looking back now, he pretty much put it out there that he had a thing for barely legal white women.
And somebody, I read a comment, I don't know why these older men want to date these young girls that could be old enough, that could be young enough to be their daughters, and don't find that creepy. I respond to say, I don't know why these women be in everybody's business and don't find that creepy. But why? Hold on. But if Stella can get her groove back, Shay gonna get his groove back. How Shay got his groove back?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't say nothing for Stella, because I remember I went to the movie and you clap it. Yeah, child. Do it, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Now all of a sudden, O'Shea trying to get his groove back is a problem.
Yeah, it's a double standard. It's a double standard. Depending on, and sometimes this is what they try to do. Older women, this is what older women try to do. Older women will guilt trip you.
Baby, I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say what you trying to say?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at your
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my life.
Let me tell you what my baby need. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon need. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your get you an old out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese.
Now, no one is saying Shannon is innocent in all this because at the end of the day, his freaky tail is in this mess because he couldn't keep his hands off them young girls on Instagram. If he listened to Monique and got himself an old girl, it would have been much harder for the industry to wreck his career like this. As usual, people have their own thoughts, like this person who said, didn't anyone set this grown man up? He made his own poor choices and decisions. Now he has to suffer the consequences. The bottom line is, he likes what he likes. Another person said he didn't care about his career, reputation, morals, and legacy. He has nobody to blame but himself. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Kevin allegedly having a hand in Shannon's downfall? And do y'all think Katt is right about Kevin being a sellout? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.